He had everything: money, fame, and influence. But one mistake turned his dream into a nightmare. This is the true story of Obi, the man who fooled the world. Born in the bustling city of Atlanta, Obi was the kind of boy teachers called brilliant but restless. His mother, a nurse, worked double shifts to pay his school fees, while his father, a quiet mechanic, taught him the value of hard work. But Obi wanted more. He wanted power. In college, he was known for his charm and confidence. He read every book on business, motivation, and entrepreneurship he could find. "I'll build something the world will never forget," he told his roommate Jason. And he did. By age 27, Obi had founded the Anani Group, a tech investment company that promised to connect Africa to global opportunities. Magazines called him Africa's golden visionary. Business leaders flew across continents just to shake his hand. But behind that flawless smile was a man playing a dangerous game, one that would soon bring his empire crashing down. Because sometimes success hides secrets that the world isn't ready to see. Would you like me to continue to Scene 2, the Empire of Dreams? Obi's name became a brand. From New York to Lagos, he was invited to speak about innovation and wealth creation. Young people worshipped him. Brands wanted him. "The future is Africa," he'd say, his voice full of confidence. His penthouse overlooked the Atlantic, his cars lined up like trophies. He sponsored scholarships, built tech hubs, and smiled for magazine covers. But beneath the applause, Obi was restless. He wanted faster money, money that didn't wait for contracts or investors. That hunger would soon open a door he could never close, a door that led straight into darkness. It started with a message. A friend from college, Marcus, whispered, "There's easier money in data." Obi was curious. Marcus showed him how companies lose millions to unguarded servers. "We can outsmart them," Marcus said. "No one gets hurt." At first, Obi hesitated, but greed spoke louder than conscience. Soon, encrypted laptops replaced boardroom meetings. He wasn't building anymore, he was stealing. Fake invoices, business email tricks, millions flowing silently into offshore accounts. Still, Obi smiled for the cameras, preaching honesty and hard work. He didn't know the FBI was already watching. Obi became a global star. Television hosts called him Africa's Mark Zuckerberg. He dined with investors, laughed with politicians, and promised a brighter future for his people. But behind every spotlight casts a shadow. Behind the scenes, Marcus warned him, "We're in too deep." Obi brushed it off. "Relax, no one will ever trace it back." Yet strange things began to happen. One night, his assistant whispered, "Sir, someone's asking questions about our London accounts." Obi's smile faded for the first time. He looked out at the city lights, bright, beautiful, and blinding. Fame was turning into fear. The first email came quietly. "Mr. Obi, we need clarification on recent transactions," it read. It was from a U.S. bank. He ignored it. The second came with stronger language. The third mentioned federal investigation. Obi's heart pounded. Marcus called, panicked. "They've traced one of the transfers. We need to disappear." But Obi refused to run. "I'm not a criminal," he said, half convincing himself. Then, during a business trip to Boston, men in black suits surrounded him at the airport. "Obi Anani?" "Yes?" "You're under arrest for wire fraud." His world silenced. Everything stopped. The cell was small, cold, and quiet. For the first time, Obi had no audience, no cameras, just silence and shame. He stared at the concrete wall, replaying his life like a broken movie. His lawyer spoke softly. "The evidence is overwhelming. Plead guilty or you'll never see daylight again." That night, Obi wrote a letter to his mother. "I wanted to make you proud, but I lost myself chasing what didn't matter." When his sentencing came, the judge said, "You had everything and still chose deceit." 10 years. The crowd gasped. Obi bowed his head and wept. News spread like wildfire. Tech prodigy turns fraudster, headlines screamed. His photos, once symbols of success, were now proof of betrayal. Influencers deleted old posts with him. Investors denied ever knowing him. On social media, the same fans who once called him a hero now called him a disgrace. Another fake entrepreneur, one wrote. Just another scammer chasing fast money, said another. His company, the Anani Group, collapsed overnight. Employees lost jobs, projects froze, dreams vanished. Obi's mother stopped watching TV. She couldn't bear to see her son's face anymore. In a single week, the world that praised him turned its back. Prison stripped Obi of everything. His suits, his fame, his illusion of control. Days turned into months and months into years. But somewhere in that silence, something changed. He began reading again, not business books this time, but faith, humility, and purpose. He mentored younger inmates, teaching them about real entrepreneurship, not shortcuts. If you don't build with integrity, your success will destroy you. Letters from strangers began arriving, people who once hated him, now inspired by his honesty. For the first time in years, Obi smiled. Not because he was free, but because he finally understood freedom. After 8 long years, Obi walked out of prison gates a different man. No cameras, no applause, just the sound of freedom and the weight of lessons learned. He returned to his old neighborhood in Atlanta, where it all began. The same streets that once whispered his name now watched him quietly. Children ran past him, chasing dreams he once chased. Obi smiled faintly. He started small, teaching tech skills to local youth, warning them about greed and deceit. If you don't build with integrity, your success will destroy you, he'd say. Slowly, respect returned, not for his wealth, but for his wisdom. Years later, a journalist visited Obi for a documentary. "Do you regret fooling the world?" she asked. Obi smiled sadly. "I didn't just fool the world, I fooled myself. I thought success was about money and fame, but real success is peace, purpose, and people you don't have to lie to." The interview went viral, not for his past, but for his honesty. Across social media, people called him the man who learned too late. As the sun set over the city, Obi whispered, "I lost everything I had, but found everything I needed." And that was enough.